Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Assalamualaikum everyone. And today I would like to deliver my presentation regarding distribution management, Chapter 8, Strategic Alliance in Distribution. I am Hanifa Shahira Fedi with NPM 21110110005, and I am majoring in Management of International Class 2021. Here are the learning outcomes that we will likely to get by this chapter. The first outcome is regarding to define and describe regarding strategic alliance in distribution. Second, distinguish upstream and downstream motivation to form an alliance. And the third is to describe the circle of commitment in strategic alliance. The fourth, describe about how channel members form their strategic alliance. 5. Describe how to build commitment by managing daily interactions. And 6. Describe relationship-based and marketing channel. But first, we need to understand a little bit information about strategic distribution alliance. So what is a strategic distribution alliance? It is the situation where two or more organizations have a connection that causes them to function according to a perception of a single interest shared by all the parties. So this is a situation where two or more organizations, they are making such a connection to make them function according to a perception of a single interest or the parties. So why company or business doing strategic distribution alliance? So it is divided into two parts. There are two motives. First is upstream motive. So distribution alliance begin with the producer recognition that it can profit from the many advantages of downstream channel member to do so at lower cost. And the second motive is downstream motive. It is more likely to make sure or to ensure that accurate, stable supply of desirable product. Because we know that as merger and acquisition concentrate, the downstream channel member can commit to the survivors to maintain the product supply. So this is regarding the motives to ally strategically, like I told you before, it is divided into upstream and downstream. And when we take a look based on the fundamentals, generate consumer preference, preserving choice and flexibility of channel partner, strategic preemption, and subordinate of the goal. For example, in the fundamental for upstream channel member, they are more likely to motivate downstream channel member to represent them better. For example, in the current market, with the current products, in new market or with new products. However, it will be different in the downstream channel member because the fundamental of downstream channel member will likely to focus to avoid stockouts while keeping the cost under the control. For example, they can lowering the cost of all flows performed, such as lower inventory holding costs. The next is about the circle of commitment. So in the circle of commitment, it is all start with the supplier gas regarding how committed is this distributor to me. And next, it goes to the supplier commitment to a distributor. So it based on the supplier commitment to a distributor, then distributor can guess how committed is this supplier to me. Then we go to the distributor commitment to a supplier. So this is how the circle of commitment works in this chapter. Next, we go to the next part. First is about the action that been distributor to supplier. So, the distributor enter a relationship when it is believed that the payoff will justify the cost. This means that the distributor dedicates resources to a supplier. And the second is about the action that binds suppliers to distributor. So before making a decision, supplier will verify the downstream channel member ability and motivation regarding the distributor. And the third is about creating alliance via ties that bind. So the formula to building a channel alliance is to get commitment and give the commitment. So here about building commitment by managing daily interaction. It's about manufacturing trust. So in manufacturing trust, we are relatively to you. It is relative to your confidence in each other's integrity and concern for mutual well-being. So what kind of well-being or satisfaction that is more likely to be important in this occasion? First is about economic satisfaction. It is all about the positive effective response to economic reward from the union. And the second is about non-economic satisfaction. It's about psychological effect and relationship that are valued. And the third, choosing partner and setting. So this is the need of complementary capability that can be exploited for competitive advantage. And the fourth is about decision-making process. So this is the relationship basis in a marketing channel. First, we have awareness. So in awareness, one organization sees the other as visible exchange partner, where there still have little and minimal interaction, and where the networks are very critical because one player can recommend another player. And the second phase is about exploration. So in this exploration, they're more likely to do testing and probing by both sides. So they are testing each of the sides. If this distributor is likely to work with me, it is more likely to help me to cut the cost or making a distribution channel getting better. And the relationship phase 3 is about expansion. So it can benefit expand for both sides. And it can also enhance the interdependence between expand and increasing the risk taking. The relationship 4 is a commitment. So each party between the supplier and distributor, they can invest to build and maintain the relationship in a long time horizon. And also, parties may also be aware of alternative but do not court them. They have also high expectation on both sides. Relationship phase 5 is decline and dissolution. And usually this decline and dissolution tends to be sparked by one side nothing. And this mounting dissatisfaction leads to one side to hold back investment, and lack of investment provokes the other side to reciprocate. So in summary of all the presentation that I gave you before, so an alliance is appropriate when three conditions hold simultaneously. First, one side has special need. Second, the other side has the capability to meet these needs. And the third, each side faces barrier to exciting the relationship. Conditions 1 and 2 create the basis for distinctive value added, which is the foundation of a strategic alliance. Condition 3 is necessary to prevent one side from exploiting the other side. So now we have the study cases is from Xerox. So Xerox is a holding corporation which came from an American corporation that sells print and digital document products and service in more than 160 countries. And in this occasion, we have Richard Gibbs as the Director of European Distribution for Xerox Europe revealed that there are 6 clusters of partners that can attitudes toward supplier. First is about evangelist. So evangelist means that it is a partner that been working with the supplier for years. Second is possible convert. It's about a partner that have positive attitudes about the supplier but have not invested much in the relationship. And the third is problem children. So in problem children, the partner have invested a great deal in the supplier but dissatisfied with the return. And the fourth is marginal. It means that the partner have not invested very much and do not think much of the supplier service or the product. And the fifth, potential terrorist. It is about investor who feel the manufacturer has let them down in terms of service. And the sixth is deserters. It's about a partner who invests almost zero and hold a poor image of the manufacturer on all fronts. This is the end of my presentation. I am Hanifa Sherafedi with NPM 2111011 and 005. Thank you very much for listening. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.